it? Yeah.
Sorry, Sean, yeah. And we appreciate him coming on an evening, and I'd like to thank Mick and Brendan for setting this up. And lads, I'd like to thank you for coming. I think it's a fantastic turnout, and you know the mission that we're on in relation to what we're trying to teach the children on the one hand, lads, but fundamentally it's about a safe place for the kids, about enjoyment for the children. It's about treating all of the children fairly and equally, and that's where we are starting from. That's a big broad spectrum. Time enough, 10 years time or 12 years time to be streaming the players out of this. The ambition of this endeavour, I suppose, is that we have a very, very broad group of kids involved with us, very broad group of parents, and every single child will not be judged, lads, and every single child will be treated absolutely equally and fairly. And that's the fundamental part of our approach. Mick, if you have anything to say?
No, that's basically it, and just what I think is really good. If you want to ask any question, just ask it. Just go to ask any questions. And this is as much for you and for us to learn, as to be able to teach the kids after.
Next Monday night. And what it was breaking was a routine for parents, and parents started getting sick of that in the GA, so they started going towards the soccer and rugby. So I suppose it was a challenge for the GA in such a big population like Dublin to put something in place for parents and the kids, that the kids will enjoy it most of all, and the parents will see a programme that's there easy for them to bring the kids down every Saturday morning, and the routine wasn't being broken week to week. So we would have made a lot of mistakes, and I suppose that's where we would have came from with it. But it was really at the grassroots, down at the bottom level, was where we started. Everyone has different theories on what you should be doing with the kids is appropriate, at what ages and all that. I know a lot of you here, is there a few of you know past experience in the GA, or a few? Yeah. So it's going to be new to you as it is to the children, I suppose. You're watching television and you're seeing Henry Sheffield and Leafs put the ball over the bar, and you're saying, Jesus, my 6-year-old can't even go to hurley properly. He's no business playing this game. Just taking small steps and knowing what steps they should be taking is the big thing. For me personally, if I was back training an under-18, which I kind of am now because my own young was 5, and I'm kind of seeing all the pitfalls and challenges of getting him interested in the GA and what he's enjoying, and he's kind of saying, geez, I don't want to go and train Tuesday night. I'm starting to get this myself after doing it for 5 or 6 years, so I'm starting to see from a different set of eyes as well, from a parent I suppose, the challenges and plays for the GA and for the enjoyment of the child. But for me, if each child can hold hurley properly at 7, 8 years of age, that's a job there in itself. There's a good programme here, and the programme is, I suppose, for you guys to follow step by step. But the most important thing, lads, is making sure they have the proper hurley grip. So do we all know what hand should be on top of the hurley? Hand be right foot. Okay, so there's dominant hands always on top of the hurley. The implications, what happens if it's not on top of the hurley? Will they get away with it at 7, 8 years of age? Do you think they'll be able to play a match fine and it'll go unnoticed?
It's a swing, because...
But when does it start to become a challenge?
Around then, actually, around 7, 8. We see it in the 8-year-olds at the moment.
But at 8 years of age down, it's ground hurling only. So if their boys are going to play matches the weekend, it's ground hurling only. So they're not going to be hitting the ball over their hands. They'll generally get away with it, hitting the ball on the ground without much problem, and they'll be able to hit the ball for 30 yards, and you'll be saying to the child, you're holding the hurling with the wrong grip. Do you think he's going to be listening to it? Sure, he's going to be hitting the ball 30 yards. He's not going to see the problems. So he's not going to see the problems. So just brainwashing the child really to do it the proper way is a challenge for you guys, and how you manipulate that with the child and how you work with exercises so that he keeps doing it, and then he starts to see the benefits of striking off both sides. The challenge is when they go to hit the ball with their hands, their dominant side. So if I'm right-handed, I will have no problem hitting it all day long off this side. The problem arises in a match when I turn to this side, because an 8-year-old child, hurley, he doesn't even have the body strength to hold it properly. With one hand, drop the ball, and his swing and everything, his technique is going to be very bad. Alright? The other thing is, as the game gets faster, 11, 12, 13, and that's when you really start to see the gap. You'd see children at 8 years of age, you wouldn't really notice the difference in ability and whether they're good or bad, but really starts kicking at 11, 10, when the children can pick the ball, hit the ball off left and right, when they're under pressure in a match, and they're turned onto the weak side, they just can't even hit it off the weak side. Okay? Because they're holding the hurley wrong. So it starts to really come in, and the player then starts to lose confidence, and they start to have less enjoyment for the game. So it is vital. It is vital. And if you have to spend the whole year getting the correct grip, you know, if by the end of the year you have 30 kids, they all have the correct grip, brilliant. But are you going to be worried about it the first time of training if they don't have it? If only 2 or 3 kids have the correct grip the first day of training, are we going to be worried about it? Do we have to spend the whole night telling the kids that they're holding the hurley wrong? If we spend the whole night telling them they're holding the hurley wrong, what's going to happen? They're going to get fed up, and they're going to may not listen to him. Do you know, he's sick of listening to you. So, like, it is getting it in at different stages and getting different people in. If you're onto the same child every week, he's going to get a stubborn head. You know, I presume a lot of you have children of your own age. You know, they don't want to be listening to you tell them what to do the whole time. You know, and if you are onto them every week, they're going to turn against it. So, like, it is gradually building in as the season goes on. It is simple things, wristbands, put it on the quick grip, you know, put a marker and mark out which their strong hands at the top of training. Because kids don't even know the right or left. Some of them don't even know the right or left. So just give them something, yeah, that's the marker, that's top hand ahead. You know, or every 5 minutes stop. Is the marker at the top of the hurley and they'll all look down? No, it's not, they'll switch, you know. Simple things like that makes them trigger and they'll remember it. After a period of time, after a few weeks when they're hitting the ball on the ground, they'll start to remember it. But the implications up the line, you know, are serious because players are losing out. If you look at into county level now, I don't think there's any player playing with his weaker hand, is there? Who? No, it's his strong hand.
Is it? Oh, yeah.
That's his strong hand. There's a lot of left-handed players in Kilkenny now, there's a few more, that's their dominant hand. I don't think there's too many fellas anymore. You know, you go back to 1970s, 80s, Timmy Crowley, these fellas, they used to play that way alright, but the game is so fast now, you need to be able to do things equally as good on both sides, so that's why you need to have your strong hand on top of the hurley. So it's the most important thing, lads, in the whole thing you're going to do for the season, but it's not the most important thing to be hammering home to the kids every night. You need to get on with it, wean it out as the year goes on. As the year goes on, 20 will turn to 10, to 5, to 3. By the end of the year you might have 2 or 3, and you know, at that stage, and you're after spending a full year into the child's ear, it's time to get someone from the outside to come in maybe and work them, or get a school coach, or a teacher, or someone they look up to that's on an inter-county team, might come into summer camp or something. That's when you need that guy really hammering home to the child, because they listen to someone they look up to. So don't lose, I suppose, don't be losing your mind every night of training. You know, it is important in the long run, but where we are at the minute and the year you're going to have in front of you, it's not vitally important in every training session that you're hammering. You know, do it gently, do it subtly. Make sure the other mentors know exactly what we mean. So just dominant hand on top of the hurley, and you'll see it. There's not too many kids are left-handed. There's only a minority. If they're left-handed, that's fine. If you're unsure, ask their parents which is their strong hand, or give them a biro, make them write it up on a piece of paper, write their name on a piece of paper. You'll know then which their dominant hand is, so you'll be able to correct it. So don't second guess or don't guess you think that's the right hand. And some kids will hold it with their right hand and they can be left-handed. So it is important, I suppose, have a piece of paper and a biro, get them to write their name, you know, and then you'll find out them fast enough yourselves.
A question there. I don't know anything about hurling, but my own influence up since last year with Sean Blaze there. And yes, right, so it's left hand. But just right hand is the dominant. Is it hurling? Is that wrong? Like, or?
No, some people do that. There is some people do that. Some people eat with their other hands. You know, I play pool with my left hand and right hand. You know, there's different quirkiness. Some kids.
So there's nothing wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. Some kids are just equally as good in both, and they can do both, no problem. But you know, there's only a few of them, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. Is there any other questions on the grip, lads? No.
Just a thought of maybe on the application form, you know, when they're signing up for every year, if maybe they ask the parents, it's usually with them then if they're left or right handed. Capture that.
But generally they should be coming back from school alright, because Niall's doing the schools with them, so they should be relatively alright. There's only going to be a minority. It's trying to catch the minority out there and trying to know what you're looking for. Do you know what I mean? And looking for, are they comfortable? The other thing is the hurley is the hurley size. So what size should the hurley be up to the body? Any guesses? Hip. Anyone else agree with the hip?
Or you can reach it with your hand.
Yeah. It was to the hip. When I was growing up, it was to the hip, you know. But if you look at some children, so their legs could be way longer than their upper body. So it actually doesn't make sense in their arms coming along as far as their knees. So it doesn't make sense, because if I'm holding the hurley and you see with kids, and parents will always say, actually, grow into that, it's like a pair of shoes or whatever, he'll grow into that and he'll be fine. But he won't be fine, because it's the difference between a 5 or 6 year old with a wrong hurley size that'll totally turn him off the game. If it's too heavy or too long. If it's too long, okay, just to give you an example, if it's too long, and let's say if he was holding the hurley here, okay, he was standing upright like this, you should be able to hold the top of the hurley like this, okay? So when I'm standing up, that's right for me. If I'm grabbing it here, that's too long. Do you understand that? So if I'm holding the hurley here and it's too long for me in a match, what's going to happen? What am I going to be hitting first? The ground. Because the hurley is too long, so it's going to be hitting the ground and I'm going to be missing the ball. So the hurley size is vital that you get that right. So it's a body position, and I think, there's diagrams and pictures and stuff on the internet. Give that to the parents so they know what hurley size they look for going into the shop. Because all families go into the shop and they look at the hurley and up to the hip, and the fella behind the shop will tell them up to the hip, if you don't go to someone good. And otherwise they'll just get something that's big enough for them. And kids generally want to be a hurley. They want to be a hurley because they want to be. If they'll pick up your hurley before they pick up your own hurley at home, So that's just something to be mindful of. It is standing upright and being able to grip the top of the hurley like that comfortably. If he's coming down too far, the hurley is too small. If there's a gap here, it's too big. Alright, and it's very important. The hurley size is very important.
And it happens, Sean, the hurley size, if the hurley is too big, you find that, like, if that hurley is too big for you, so he's holding in his right hand, and the left hand then
the left hand goes at the top. Exactly. That's what happens. The left hand goes at the top, and that's a bad habit again. There's only one hurler in the country hurling this way. Anyone there? He controls it here, the hurley here, on the other hand. No. Walter Walsh. Do you know Walter Walsh? Kenny, the big lanky fella. He'd get the ball here and he'd put the hand here and him. 840 is the other fella, just two. But they're unique. I tell you, there's not too many other fellas surviving playing that kind of style of hurling. So, it's all about technique, and what it leads to is better around the players at 12, 13, and better around the teams if they're all technically good, And if you look at good GA teams around the country, you look at good club teams like Portumna, who won the club final on Paddy's Day, their technique is all good. You don't see any fella holding hurley wrong on their teams, So it is important to emphasise and get it right.
Sorry, Sean.
Keep going.
We got they're made up at the moment is small and 16-inch hurleys, So the GBA's handled there before the Munster Conference, and the idea is like that. There's really only room in the handle for one hand.
That's all.
And like they might have a ball in one hand, and they're just the strong hand is on the hurleys, so they're throwing the ball up and they're just swinging it just to get them into the hurley hand, ball hand, hurley hand, ball.
They can't get into the habit of using the other hand, such as just using the dominant hand first and then developing the weaker hand. Tis adults. We're doing that with it. Paddy was doing that with it, so tis good though, tis good. Do anyone know what ready position is? Ready position in a match, alright? Very important to be teaching the kids ready position. Okay, always be ready, so always in your toes, in ready position. Get them on the round place, blow the whistle, are you in ready position? And some kids won't be, they'll be holding like this, they'll be holding like, correct them, get the ready position right, because you see it on the 8 and the 10 matches. And on the 8 and the 10, they'll be leaving in the hurl like this, or they'll be talking to the fella beside them, and there may be another fella sitting in the ground in an under 8 match. And if you shout in from the side and get into ready position, they'll do it straight away, but if they're not doing it, they're not alert, and they can't react to the match, so that's the ready position. The lock position, when do we need the lock position? Striking the ball. So lock position, simple, hurley up the grip, lock position, alright, so that's the lock. This is the lock position, so we're ready to strike the ball, okay? Blocking, so if we're blocking the ball, and kids generally, they put the hurley up here, okay? What's that, is that good or bad? What should they be doing? Body should be able, so they should be moving their feet. So it's important to move their feet, get the body behind the ball, stop the ball like this. So basically like a V, but stop the ball. What that leads on to, lads, anyone know what that leads on to? If their footwork is right, if they're getting their body behind the ball, stopping it, what's it going to lead to? Let's say when they're 10 or 11. Anyone know? Lifting it and a good first touch. So it's like another 12 level, okay, another 12 level, and the ball is coming to me. If my footwork is right, my technique is right, I'll have good control of the ball, alright? The other one then is the soloing. So look, before we go to the solo, I suppose, if I'm going to pick up the ball, does this look right? What's wrong with me?
The toe of the horse, turn the other way.
Yeah. Toe of the hurley. Okay, it's a big handle. If I'm right-handed, toe of the hurley is face out to my right. So everyone look at the hurleys there and make sure we're right with that one. Okay, toe of the hurley is face out to the right. On the way. Don't worry.
Best trick to get on to.
Take his pulse there, let's just check his pulse.
Trying to tell them to have it like that. What would you say, especially like say the small one, it's not like when you get to pick up the hurley with one hand and it feels like that way to keep to get every time.
How do you mean with this?
Like say like, you know, you first time picking up for the first time.
Yeah.
Some first go like that, one first pick it up like that, and the first like that. You know, something that you say like, you know,
It's just like, it's just like when you're, if your right hand is going to the far side, left hand is going to the left side, just like, they generally get it. I don't see them with too much hassle. A lot of kids are going to start picking the ball up wrong like this, okay? Their technique as well is going to be poor, so their footwork is going to be poor. So, how am I looking if I'm going to pick up the ball like this? We looking alright? Like this? That look alright? What's wrong here? What hand should be in front? What leg should be in front of me, sorry? Left leg close to the ball, so hands, head and feet. Okay, so if the ball is here, I get my foot in near the ball, I get my range, look, hand here, grip here, head over the ball, I'm picking it over. You understand? If my foot is here like this, try it there yourselves. Can you pick it? Which is easier? Just have it feel foot. It's much easier than it. The ball is beside you. Alright? If you're over there, you might pull your hamstrings in, go the other way, you just stretch it. So like that's just a simple thing, lads. And I suppose that's the down the line, but you know, just getting the hurley right, getting the proper grip right, and building it into games is a challenge, but it's fun, and kids get into it. You know, that's the most important thing over a few weeks, just the ready position, the lock, okay, the block, stopping the ball, running, soloing again, okay, you'll see some people maybe doing this. Does that look alright? Does that look alright? What's wrong? Boss is faced the wrong way. What else am I doing wrong? If I'm teaching kids, we should have two hands down, shouldn't we? So, one hand down lower the boss, the other hand halfway down the hurley. You know? No, go out here. No, kids get so up there. Alright? So, grab a ball here and see how we work on with it. We'll just go through them ourselves because if you don't get a feel for that.
Take plastic off, sorry.
So look, let's see us soloing now. Just stand where we are. Two hands in the hurley. Toe facing out. Okay. And the thumbs facing in the back. So the thumbs, we're going to pick up. Thumbs, lads, watch our thumbs. So everyone just put the ball out. Our thumbs will always face down to the boss. And we're going to pick up the ball. Thumbs facing down to the boss. And we're soloing. Thumbs facing down towards the boss. So it's just a simple thing. You'll see kids to be doing like this. Just for technique and everything else. Thumbs facing down to the boss. So we're soloing.
What we're saying there, Sean, is that we would be using beat bags.
Yeah.
Small kids would use that the same.
Same technique. A 5-year-old or 6-year-old lads, they're not going to be able to balance the ball. They might be in the minority. They'll all be able to balance the beanbag. They'll enjoy the beanbags. And that's going back to our catching now. We'll go through this. Tonight's purpose is for doing with ball, but a child will be able to do beanbags, no problem, solely, right? They enjoy it. They actually enjoy it. Okay?
And so I suppose what's also worth noting is that we could have already heard of this, that Mark plays all the world this way when you're soaring as an adult. But we kind of insist that the kids hold it that way for balance, really, and for stability.
Yeah.
You know,
and habits.
And habits, In future, you know, as they grow up, we can introduce that to them. They'll go off themselves. So we show it this way. Two hands in the hurley when we're doing solo, lads. Two hands in the hurley.
Yeah. Very good. Just stopping the moving ball, just like I was saying before, the same as the block. So we're getting off, so just roll me the ball there, get this up, please. So we're just getting our feet right, lads. Getting our feet right, getting our feet. So like if we miss it, it's going to hit our legs, we stop it, right? But it's about getting our feet right, getting our movement right, moving out don't stop it. Tons of facing down quarter pass all the time. Can you see that?
Turn into the camera, Sean.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I can move, yeah. I can move there, so I go down here.
So we'll go again, look. So look, if you just get it, you have to move their feet and stop. So a good technique, moving their feet, stopping, and what's the need to take it? A good, when we get to level 12, good first touch, because it's habit. Okay, but if they're trying to stop down here, and they're down to 20 years of age, they're going to become very lazy players, and they're just going to put up the hurl the whole time. So to just get them into the habit of moving their feet and getting the body behind the ball, alright? So the dribble, lads, you've been doing a lot of dribbling this year, you know, it's good for ball control and getting comfortable on the ball and proper hands and everything else. So, does this look right for a dribble? What am I doing wrong? Am I doing anything wrong?
Hands.
Hands, okay? Strong hand top and hurling. The other hand should be halfway down the hurling. So make sure an assist is halfway down the hurling. Some will be doing like this, always halfway down the hurling. So in a ready position, bring it up halfway and you get better control. So head over the ball, follow it around. So start dribbling there a few bit, just see how we get on, see if you get feel for it. So two hands, yeah, the other hand halfway down the hurling, that's it. Stuff. Alright, can you answer that? Round. Come in there again, lads. Ground strike. Come in there with us here. The ground strike, that's going back to our correct technique again, right? And simple things. So, hands, head and feet again, you know, it's a simple thing. I've just, some kids will stand back here and golf shot, you know, just getting the leg in over the ball, head in over the ball, and strike it. Okay? Now you'll see it, lads. You'll see it with kids striking. Some fellas will be very, some fellas hurley sizes will be wrong, the hands will be wrong. This is what you'll see, look. Some fellas. So like, this is what you want to see now. So you need to watch out and identify what you're looking for. Okay? So if I'm striking the ball with my weaker hand, the top and hurley, okay? I'll be standing back like this. Does that look alright to you guys? No. So what are we looking out for? Is coming in, leaning in over the ball, alright? Lock position, head over the ball, and strike the ball. Okay? So there's simple things like that. Head, hands, and feet. That's what we're looking for now. If I'm standing 2 feet together, am I looking alright here? No. Alright? Because when you're going to be standing 2 feet together on the match, the game of hurling, you're always in the move, aren't you? You're always moving. So you need to be able to get your balance and everything right, so you need to be able to get a strong position. So I'm in a strong position here. If I'm giving a cash and there's a guy coming in my left hand side and I'm standing upright like this, I'm going to get bowled over the shoulder. So just getting a strong position and getting the most powerful shot you can get into the ball, alright? It isn't like golf. But what you'll see with some kids is, and they're looking for their target. Some kids, if I'm hitting the ball, Mr. Yellow over there, okay? Their feet need to be right and facing the right direction. Some kids will turn their body this way, you see? And they'll keep missing their target. They won't really understand what you're about because you actually show them. So just having their feet right maybe facing off and the left shoulder should be facing into the target, or the right shoulder should be facing into the target, and then striking through the ball. So do we all see the ground strike?
Sean, can you just go to the striking off the other side?
Oh, striking off the other side, yeah. So same thing. I'm leaning, actually I will get killed. So I'm leaning, okay, lock position, head over the ball, striking through the ball, okay? So good and simple, make sure we're just getting our feet into the ball, so we're not standing flat, lean in, strike through it, alright? Keep right the ball, head over the ball, that's the most important thing. Head over the ball, lean in, and the eyes of the ball the whole time. Some kids won't even look at the ball, they'll be here, they'll be looking over here, and they'll be trying to hit it. Alright, so the eyes of the ball is massive.
I suppose the other thing that the hurling, not generally brought about in the old days is where the hurling is here. Now that might be difficult enough to teach 6-year-olds, and maybe we will and maybe we won't.
Some will,
of course, yeah, but even the way you instinctively did it on the hurling, the snappy shot. And that would be good if we could try and do that on the hurling, the ball on the ball, it would be very, very good. However, I'm not 100% sure we can achieve that.
the problem with the ball and rope, lads, and I'll just give you this, the ball on there. Do you all see the ball and rope in action yet? Yeah. So the guy standing back here needs 3 or 4 balls. That's what some of them do. That's all they're doing. So you need to emphasise it's not a race. Number 1, take their time, and you need to slow them up, and you need to actually walk them through it. So you need one coach here and one parent here saying when they can go, when the other person's done 3 or 4 balls. But the other coach needs to walk up the line with them. There's no good standing back there. Good man, keep going now, we're done next, off you go. Because they're going to be doing it wrong. Because all the kids are going to be doing this. You need to be going up and down the line with them every time they strike it. Good strike out, eyes over the ball, head over the ball, strike through the ball. And if he makes a mistake this one, no, watch me now, look, all the way here. And when he does it right, we hammer home he's done it right. We give him as much confidence as we can, and we keep being positive with the child, you know. When we catch him doing something right, you can't give him enough encouragement. You can't give him enough encouragement. Do you know, we give him enough giving out when they're doing things wrong. So if a child does it wrong 5 times, it's fucking vital, lads, when they do it right that we really emphasise it. So it's just a simple thing, but make sure we're walking through the row, okay? Hands locked, feet are right. Get them walking through the row first, because they'll race through it, they'll only tap it, and their technique will be off. So it's just looking for the technique and getting their technique right with that. Striking, stationary, a moving ball again, it's all about getting them on their feet. And so if the ball is coming, make sure the ball is moving around. If you're doing a game, we'll do a game here in a few minutes where the ball's moving, make sure they're not standing still and they're getting their feet right, alright? A chest catch again. We're going to be doing chest catch with beanbags, obviously. A child's hands. Some of their hands can't even catch the ball. The ball wouldn't fit into their fingers. So what you're really looking for with kids and what you're looking for catching is catching with the fingers, you know. So if they're catching a beanbag, they'll catch a beanbag, no problem. And they won't be afraid of a beanbag. Some kids will be afraid of a ball when they fly off their head, you know. And kids, that's, from what I can see, 6-year-olds, if you have 6-year-olds throwing over the ball back over the chair, it doesn't work. You know, you need to break them into small groups, and you need to be a parent and adult throwing the beanbag to them and giving them confidence, because one child will fire it over the other fella's head, and he'll come back and he'll fire it back at this fella. That's all that happens. They'll be missing at it, and their coordination will be quite poor. So, you know, the only time you leave them throw stuff to them is to themselves when they're throwing it in the air to get used to it, to get their coordination right. You wouldn't put them throwing it to a car because they won't do it, you know, and you'll have a headache running up and down and correcting fellas and trying to fix fellas. So it's breaking them into small groups to get one parent looked after it. But the chest catch, you know, or catching it, the big thing is getting their fingers right and what way it's pointed. So when we're catching the ball or catching the beanbag, what way should the fingers be pointing? What direction? Up. A lot of kids will try to start catching it this way. Okay, so fingers always up. When they're throwing the beanbag, what way should they be throwing it? Fingers pointed to the ground. Alright, it's a simple thing that we'll take for granted. But a kid will catch like this and he'll try to throw back like this. Okay, it is just getting them into the habit again of throwing and catching the right way. So making sure the fingers are always pointed to the sky. It's a simple, they'll remember it. And making sure the fingers are pointed to the ground when they're throwing it. Again, yeah.
I suppose what we try and do is to introduce the children to catching a slitter, a beanbag. In our cases, we might actually offer the beanbag to the child off the hurley. So they hold the hurley with their dominant hand, and we'd offer the beanbag to the child, so the child would pick it with the slitter hand and offer it back onto the hurley, and the coach takes it back and do it to the next child. Yeah. And I suppose we haven't actually done that really. We kind of offer it this way, so the kid will throw it to the shot. And in fact, we will throw it that distance to the child. That's the way initially we would get them to grab the slitter, bring the slitter into their chest, and then offer it back to the coach.
And that's good. The only thing, lads, when we're going to catching, there is no catching till they get to 9 years of age, so it isn't to be all in all. Like, you know, it is important for their coordination, if anything else. Catching is really important for their coordination, because kids can't even do the simple thing of catching, you know, they need to be able to catch stuff. And even a small football or something like that, you know, it is vital for the coordination of beanbag and catching, getting used to catching in here. They can't do enough of it, you know, they can't do enough of it, and they enjoy it. They enjoy it, which is good. And you need to have variety in training, because if you're doing the same thing every week and you're only hitting the ball on the ground, they'll bore them to death after a while. You know, the good kids like the challenge, and the good kids like the feel of a beanbag, and they look for the love catching it and getting a bit of encouragement for it. So it is very important to emphasise on them in different ways. So catching it, we all see that, so alright, we're catching to the chest, when we're catching to the air, and fingers pointed to the sky. When they're throwing it, fingers pointed to the ground. Alright, never throw it back like that. So it's just a simple thing. Again, a row lift. The row lift, that again is, you know, no win-win, and I suppose it's at the latter end of the year, the lads have said it's at the latter end of the year really you start to kind of bring the row lift in. There's no when the kids can kind of do the other simple things, the ground strike and all that, before they can move on to the row lift, because it's no good lifting the ball if they can't hit the ball along the ground, you know, or have proper technique. But the row lift again is the proper technique, so head over the ball, thumbs facing towards the boss. What you're going to find with a lot of kids is, look, they'll be trying to pick it up here, right? All they'll be doing is hitting themselves with the hurley. Their feet will be wrong, they might be holding it the wrong way. So the technique is, again, hands, strong hand on top, weak hand down low, thumbs facing towards the boss. Hold it really, hold it short, so maybe halfway down and over the boss. Getting the foot in, head in over the ball, okay? And look, this is a big thing, I suppose. They'll all be trying to hold it up here, trying to pick it. Look, they'll be shoving it into the ground. It's important that they have to hurry as low to the ground as possible, okay? As low to the ground as possible. So what I find with a lot of kids, and some pick up like that. What I find with a lot of kids is when you put them down their knees, they'll actually get it a bit easier, you know. So actually get them to go on their knees, get them into proper technique, come over, give them a bit of attention, and get them used to picking it here. And then you start getting them up on their feet, and then you start getting them wrong. So it is all different, and different stages of development for someone, but on the knees can be easy at the start, you know, and then you start bringing along with the other kids. But it is emphasising how to hold the hurley, where to hold the hurley, and look out for. So if we can all get a ball now and we have a look, if you can't do it properly, what hope for more children? Good man. Good man. Very good. Very good. Very good. That's right. So we all understand that, lads. Once we understand it, you'll be able to enforce it in the children a lot easier. Okay? The last thing then really is the shoulder clash. You know, and good time to bring the shoulder clashes in with tires, because kids obviously don't want to get hurt, and when you bring it with tires, there's very little chance of getting a snap in the hurley, because the hurley isn't going to follow through from the tire. We understand that. So if I put this man here next time, and we're going up the line, and we're hitting the tire, there's very little chance of the hurley actually following through and hitting. What we're emphasising in the shoulder clash, and you can do it at any age, is protection, alright, and showing the kids what protection is. Because if I'm standing back here and we're playing a match, and Mick's going to pull, what's going to happen to me? A 6-year-old child isn't going to know what's going to happen. But if you show them what's going to happen, am I going to get a belt of a hurley if I'm standing here? Absolutely, I'm saying. So you need to show them that. And if I'm standing here and you pull, gently no. Am I going to get hurt? No chance. Very little chance of getting hurt. So the closer I am to the opponent, the less chance I have of getting hurt. Alright? And they'll get it. They'll only even stop and they'll understand what you were saying at training last week. Alright? But it is important, as the shoulder clash is important for that purpose only. And it's the same to show them hook. People say to me, what are we showing them a hook for? They should be learning to hook opponents when they're about 12 or 13. That's silly. If you show a 7-or 8-year-old where to stand, if just someone hitting the ball in front of the match, if you tell them stand here, is he going to get a belt to the hurley? Good chance, isn't it? Follow through. So showing them where to stand behind an opponent, alright? They're not going to be able to hook. They're not going to be able to hook. A 6, 7, 8-year-old, maybe 1 out of 20 they might be able to do a proper hook. But if they know if they're standing directly behind the opponent and they have no chance of getting hit with a hurley, do you think they'll stand there on a match? They get into it, because if they're standing in the wrong positions, they get a belt. So it's just simple protection skills, making them understand it, why they're standing there. The best place to do the hook again would be the ball and the rope or the tires. So make them walk up and do the ball and the rope, the other opponent stand back here, directly behind where he has no chance of getting hit, and he might get a flick of a hurley and then you praise him and it's great, you know. But do it walking so they get a simple feel through it. Don't do the running because the fella in front might take off like a ear, and the fella behind him will be lost and he might get low hooking and he'll be feeling, you know, it is no fun. Walk away.
They just can't hurry.
Yeah.
They just demonstrate something else that we haven't been doing. I suppose with some we often run a drill, and it may be through a ladder or it may be through the stakes, and we may be getting the children to balance or to run, and we sometimes bring them to a pole at the end of the drill. And this is something I suppose that we have developed, and I'll try and explain the rationale behind it. Initially, we get them to touch and go around the pole and go back. And this could be for weeks. And then, say we'd have the ladder or we'd have whatever, we'd come out and we'd ask them to do this. So they'd come out, they'd finish their drill, and they would do this. The reason for that is that 3 months into the program, we'll be actually going into it. So, and I've asked some of the coaches to do that. That's the rationale behind it. So they come out, initially they'll do this, and run around the pole and go back. After a week or two, we'll ask them to finish their drill, come out, do this, and then go back. And eventually, they'll come out. So they'll be going into the lifting position in a kind of a natural way. They will take weeks.
It will take weeks. It will take patience.
And patience.
They're the key kind of skills you're going to be working on and you're going to be seeing over the next few years. It's not going to be this year. And you know what? If we don't get to the stage of the role if this year at 6 years of age, it doesn't really matter. Not at all. You know, it's not about developing the player, make sure they're enjoying it and going to the field. That's the training kind of program, that's the content for the season. But that isn't the core of it. The core of it is making sure the kids enjoy it and you have fun. And it's around agility, balance and coordination. And I'm sure you've heard it all before. But you need to be doing activities around them because if a child can't run properly or can't move properly or has poor coordination, he has no hope of the hurling pitch at 16 years of age. Because all he'll be is a slow, stuck to the ground young fella. Lovely hands, he can hit the ball, but if he can't move, it isn't worth the shit anyway, you know. So it is developing the key areas. I think it's what is it, 5 and 7, between 5 and 8, is it? Where child can develop speed and all that kind of stuff into them. And they're learning as well. A child can learn an awful lot between 4 and 7, I think, or 4 and 8, you know, different languages, whatever. So they're taking in an awful lot. They're like sponges at this age. But you need to be getting them moving properly and getting them developing fun games where they're moving left, moving right, and different stuff, you know, and having fun with them, because if you're not having fun with them, they won't come back, you know. And I swear to God, if you're only doing the hurling, and you're teaching quick, every session, you'd have known after 6 or 7 weeks, because a 6 or 7 year old isn't interested in it. A 6 or 7 year old's coming out to go mad for now. He's been left out of the house, he's locked up all day, he wants to come to the field and have fun, you know. So it's organising activities around them that's going to have fun. The child's going to have fun, but you're getting your key little things in as well into the session, you know. So we can do what we do.
Like John was one of that as well. We had Sean McGrath, who was a strength and conditioning coach for Park there. He was with his young lad is with the he's under 7, so he's with the under 8s at the moment, and we had him, he's training with us now. And I suppose we've done a lot of work on the ABCs with the kids who are now 9 for the last 3 years. We did a lot of work on running technique with them, and I suppose Sean even simplified it even further last day for us. Like, and he was even saying, like, even for the under 6s now, for example, he said just get them to run out towards you and try and get them to encourage them to keep looking at you as they're running at you. So he was saying that a big problem with kids when they're young is that they don't have spinal stability, so the head kind of runs all over the place. But he said just ask them to run out and keep looking at you. And he said watch that the head, does the head move around, or does the head kind of flop and try to keep it steady. So that's the basic things like when they're young. And then he got into the arms, like the arms running. And the other thing he did then was to squat. Like, he spotted one kid. We asked all the kids to come in and kneel down, and there was one kid came in and he was down like this in his haunches, like, you know, down in the odd babies can do it, like down like this. So we got all the kids to do what is called a chicken walk. So we got them to get a slitter and throw the slitter out in front and to walk out on the chicken walk to get the ball. And he said to them, look, when you're home during the week, we did that again last week. They loved it.
It is get fun.
They try and get your ass to grass, as they say. They try to get your ass down onto the grass.
It is like
and watch for the knees, that the knees don't fall.
A 2-year-old has a perfect squat. So like it's never, children are never young enough to do the squat. The squat is the prevention of so many injuries as they get older. You know, you can never do enough squatting, lads, or getting the kids down like that, because they can do it, kids can do it. It's when they get old like us and they start getting stiff and they're not doing it. And if I put you through 20 squats, we'll feel it tomorrow morning. But a child will feel it all, you know, that's a simple thing, and it develops the lads' hamstrings and different glutes and core as they get older, 14 upwards. It prevents all the little injuries. So like, now is the time to be doing it, having the fun with them. And getting them in with simple games, a chicken walk, right? That's brilliant, because the child with chicken walk, that's great crack, and they do it. Another one would be the crab. Do you ever see a crab walking? Get children to do the crab walk. So they're on their back four, bottom off the ground, walking on their back four. No, I can't do it. But I tell you, all the 6 or 7 year olds will be able to do it, no problem. And it's great exercise for them. And the other one is a bear walk. Do you ever see a bear walk? Down on 4, walking on pleasant 4. So hands, walking with his hands as well. A 6 or 7 year old will go up and down the hall like that for us, I'm telling you. And if we keep doing them, they'll keep doing it as they get older, and they'll have great flexibility, and they'll have great core and everything. Ask us to go up and down the hall, I'd say we will make to the top. You know, and that's the truth of it, lads. They can do all them exercises, so giving them exercises, because that will make them better as they get older, and have more stability and balance and all that. The other thing was the bear walk, the crab walk. What else is there? There's another one.
The bear walk is in the Spider-Man walk, isn't it?
Yeah, Spider-Man walk down the floors.
Like even a simple thing we used to get the kids to do is to run out to a cone, throw them early on the ground, and then to throw themselves onto the ground and roll across on their shoulders, like, because you want them to get them to be able to roll. So they throw it early down, and you get them onto the ground and get them to roll across their shoulders, because a lot of his core work too, they roll across their shoulders. And
they can do it no problem.
Yeah, they love it, falling onto the ground, they love dirty and
they do. There's different little exercises. You have to bring them into every training session, you know. You have to spend, like maybe if you need to spend about 5 or 10 minutes here and there during the training session, just asking around with different games. And they love them, and they're good for them, you know. Will we try a few games? Yeah. Just a few warm-up games, lads, opening our agility bands. Go down there against the back. Go, if you glide up there against this ball. Anyone know flush the toilet? Is it? Yeah, flush the toilet. So it's a fun game again for the kids. Ready? Yeah, on.
Can you film that, Sean?
When I blow the whistle, everybody's going to run off, and get the ball as fast as they can, and you must dribble the ball back to the square. Okay? In and out. All the way back to the square. And whichever team is the most amount of balls in wins.
No, Mike. Come here, Mike.
Now, there's only 12 balls here. There's only 12 played games. So whoever comes back to 5 will win. You can only take 1 ball at a time.
One in the pocket.
Watch the best clock, boys. They turn them into the pockets and everything.
And there's no stealing, alright? Ready? What's good about that exercise?
You get to watch.
You get to watch them. So there's 12 guys going. You can stand back here. Are they all going to play it? Will they all go for the ball?
Yeah.
Of course they will, because it's a game. The stronger fellas will love it because they want to win. The weaker lads are definitely going to go as well. So everyone's going to go. There's going to be no one stand back there either. Because everyone wants to win, don't they? Alright? But for you as a coach, you'll stand back, off the ground. Johnny's brilliant, Eddie's brilliant, Michael's brilliant. No, I have a problem with Tommy over there now. He's grip, he's not holding the problem early round. So we'll throw him out again. Who am I going to go after when they're doing the exercise the next time? Who am I going to zone in to fix his grip? Just Tommy, because Tommy's holding it around, so I'm going to go over and I'm going to walk with him on the way out. Good man, no, come on, hold it that way now, way back, and get it back. Lovely. He gets done. Are you embarrassing him in front of the crowd? No, because you're one-on-one and you're giving them encouragement, aren't you? You're not picking them up. You're not stopping the drill. You're saying, Tommy, that's useless. You're going the hurry wrong. You're even doing this way. You're only making fun of him then, aren't you? So it's just, you're getting into it and you're giving him encouragement while he's doing the exercise. And you can keep that going to nearly leave everyone perfect in the dribble. And when they're all perfect in the dribble, then you move on to something else. You know, so it's just a simple exercise. What else can we do with that exercise? We could throw bean bags, couldn't we? And get them to soul on the back. Alright? We could throw the bean bags or balls if they get older, get them to throw it 10 times and get them to count and soul it back or dribble it back. There's different little variations you can throw into it. It doesn't have to be the one way, but the more balls you have, you know, the kids love it. They'll all want to win, they'll all go to the ball, but you'll be able to stand back and give encouragement and spot and fix the people who are doing it wrong. Alright, so that's why it's good. Because what happens with 5 and 6 and 7 year olds when we're doing drills with them? If we're doing a straight drill and we're dribbling around the corner back and the next fellas to go, what happens? They lose interest, they start talking, and my God, I get involved because I'm getting stressed here because you're messing over there and I'm trying to keep the exercise going and 2 fellas here can't even do it properly. You know, there's no fun in that for anyone. So just organise activities around the skill where they're going to have fun. You could do that every single day of the week, lads, and they'll enjoy it because it's a game, you know, and you're working, and it's the key exercise, it's a dribble. So a ground strike one, this last one now, so 4, 5, 6 down to the far side of the hall, and all you can stay here. Everybody on this side of the hall, you come to this side. Alright, we're not on both sides. I'm right about whistle shot freeze. The team that has the least amount of balls on their side of the understand? Understand? Okay, now we're going back. For 6 or 7 years. Fall into this. Am I going to be moving? Am I going to be hitting a lot of balls? Yeah. Okay. You know, are the good players going to be interested in it? Of course they are, because they want to win. You know, after 1 or 2 goals, they said, I'm sick of this losing. They'll start moving around, they hit more balls. What are you able to do again as a coach? You have to stand back, see who's weak, you're able to give them a bit of guidance. Do you have to worry about the other guys in the game? No, you don't, because you know they're going to be playing. They're never going to stop playing when there's a game and they know there's a chance they're going to win. So the good players and the rest of the players will keep playing the game, but you'll be able to focus on the weaker kid and give him a bit of encouragement to stand beside him and make sure his grip and his striking is good. The other thing they're going to be working on without Gino is stopping the ball when it's coming to them, getting their technique right. So you'll be able to spot all these things and give them encouragement. But it is an activity that you can keep going all day, lads. The problem with 6 or 7 year olds or 8 year olds even for that matter, when they're in pairs hitting the ball to each other, what's the problem? So if I'm with you, say your name, Brendan, sorry Brendan. If I'm with Brendan and I'm hitting the ball over back to you, Brendan, and we're both 7 year olds, what's wrong with it? Is there anything wrong with it?
They get bored.
Huh? They get bored. What else? Concentration, poor. I might be able to hit 30 yards. Brendan might be able to hit 5 yards. Is that Brendan for his uses, isn't he? I'm going to be saying to myself, and then the ball will come to me and I'll drive it back over his head, and it might take him 10 attempts to get it back to me. So how many balls am I going to hit? Maybe 10 for 5 minutes, and I'm going to be looking around the place wondering what's going on. A simple game like that, am I going to be hitting balls? Of course, I'm going to be hitting 100 balls. You know, and the good fellas will keep going, and you're able to work with the weak guys. What will happen if we're hitting the ball 40 yards? What can we do with that exercise? We could spread out the middle zones. We could have 10 yards in between the middle. Do you know what I mean? Have cones here and cones there, and no one into the middle area. So we're hitting the ball further, and there's less chance of anyone getting hurt. And 8 year old play that game as they won't get hurt. You know, because it doesn't matter how close they are. There's no influence going to be hitting more than 20-30 yards around the ground. So it's safe, you know, tennis balls, whatever. But they'll enjoy it. It's fun, and they're all hitting the ball on the ground, and they're going to strike it every right. And you're able to pick out the weaker kids then. You know, and you're able to go around and coach them, not worrying about the others. So it's just simple activities like that where you're getting the exercise in. That's all it is. Have we any questions or?
There's a little Easter there, Sean.
Yeah.
We were doing the other 6 there. Myself and Sean there years ago. It was like a relay race. So you might, let's say you had a team in yellow bibs, you had a team in green bibs, you had a team in orange bibs, so there'd be an orange kid, there'd be one in yellow. together, really going. And then they'd all start off like together, they'd all have a ball with a beanbag and they'd literally solo to the next goal, when they got to the next station, like a relay in athletics, and when they got to the next station, the beanbag was transferred onto his teammate brought up to the next leg, and then you can bring in the dribble, so you can get them dribbling to the next goal, you can do the ground strike, get them striking left, right, and as the ball goes up to the next one, then you use a break back.
They love it.
Do all the skills in it as well, like.
And they love a bit of competition, like, they love a bit of competition, and it's a simple competition, like, but for you guys it's easy because you know the good guys are going to play it and they're not going to get bored. The challenge is always, the challenge, particularly at 6 and 7 years of age, is you'll have some very good fellas, you'll have the middle fellas, and you'll have some very weak fellas. The challenge is retaining them all for a number of years and not making any kids fall off. So making sure the activity is appropriate to the age and to the group you're training. I was training a group of 6-year-olds last night, and one thing I noticed, there was one child came up to me, and he says, I can't do this. And I remember I was told about catching. I can't do this, it's too hard. And he was disappointed. Was I doing him a disservice by putting an activity in front of him that he couldn't do? And the child couldn't do it, you could see the disappointment. If he comes back every Tuesday and he's disappointed because he can't do something, is he going to keep coming? He's going to be outside his comfort zone. So just make sure you're doing things that's appropriate to the age. So if the top 8 guys can hit the ball out of their hands and the next 20 can't, do we go hit the ball out of our hands with everyone, or do we wait till everyone gradually gets up to pace? We wait till everyone gets up to pace. You don't set training at the tempo of the top guys at this age. You set it along the middle and you make sure that weaker guys are coming along all the time, because if you don't, then weaker guys, the gap will widen and they'll drift away because they can't do it and they're not practicing enough. So it is just making sure you know your audience and what you're working with, and it is enjoyment and fun. That's all it is, that's at this age group. They're all relevant and they're all going towards, but the most important thing is fun. If you're not having fun at training, they're not going to keep coming back. So you just need to keep the focus on that really. Anything else? Yeah.
Resources that are available.
The website ads, if you just put in anything on the website, does a great everything come up. The Fun-Do pack, Fun-Do hurling pack. You get each age group, and I know we have packs here already. Each age group come up with specific things that kids should be posted at ages, categorized. So all the resources there for you. Fun games. If you put in fun games in soccer, you'll find little fun games that are working on their agility, balance and coordination. All the little things. So there's plenty of stuff out there. It's just a matter of going on the internet, clicking in something and loads of stuff up. YouTube as well, there's plenty of stuff on YouTube, And don't be a bit afraid to look into rugby or soccer and pick out a few things that you can use to train yourselves. Because I see old Tom Callahan, he's done it with Callaghan's brother, he played with Tom Callahan for a few years, and I was doing a workshop down in Kinsale a few weeks back, and he's the head coach in under 7s down there. I think it was under 7s, he's the head coach from down there, But he's bringing a lot of stuff from rugby to the training, just simple movement skills and all that. And the kids are loving it, that's what it's about, just changing it up and making sure it's not boring for them, it's fun, and yes,
We just said in relation to what Matthew was emphasising earlier about the relay game that we played. We also have another technique we'd set 2 stakes in the ground and we'd start the kids, children I should say, back, and say the group of three, much the same now today as the relay, but we put 2 stakes in the ground just before, say the actual pole where the kids are standing, and to be quite a narrow gate. And what it forces the children to do is to actually jostle to get through the gate, and it brings in the whole, the whole topic of shoulder contact and contact. So the gate will be quite narrow, and it's quite extraordinary to see some children initially be quite fearful. But as they get used to it, as being shoulder hurries are down, and that is all very peaceful, it is good to see them jostle their way through the gate, and it brings in contact, and again to introduce the whole concept of contact into the sport without it being, very difficult. we found that very, very useful. And in fact, all of the children, dare I say, the 4-year-olds were interested and were able to do it.
This one.
Yeah.
Have we come to close?
Let's say, Sean, yeah.
Are we happy enough lads? Any questions? Yes. What we're going through, I suppose just watch games yourselves and pick up stuff on the internet and all that. There's plenty of resources there, lads, funding pack and all that stuff, so don't ever be afraid. You know, tonight might be a bit more advanced to what you will be doing with the kids, but be working towards them simple things and progress towards it. There's a long, it's like they're only 6-7 years of age now, there's another 10 years of development there. Ideally, where you want to be at is the quick grip by 8. If you only have the quick grip by 8, it is a great job done by you guys, and they're still here. Retain the kids in quick grip. So fun and quick grip and everything else will follow. That's the most important thing. If they're not having fun and they don't have proper quick grip, it's going to lead to implications down the line. So that's all we're really looking at, but don't get hung up with it. That's all I'd say. You will come across a stubborn child who just won't do it for you. He just won't do it for you. You need to ease off then and step back and get someone else to go towards him, because there's someone the problem. You know, he has a problem with either you or he just won't do it. So it's just simple things like that. But don't get hung up with it, and don't start giving out or getting angry or raising your voice. Any questions at all? You happy enough? Good stuff.
I suppose on behalf of that, John, thanks very much. And I think that was very beneficial. I hope you all got something out of it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like this, as you saw from Sean, it's all about using your own ideas and thinking of ideas and coming up with ideas and training and stuff like that. And when you go home, it's all about doing bits and pieces at home, and working with your kids and helping them, like you said, Mark, open up and just what's the right way to hold and all like that. So the same for everyone, like we're all here to learn, and there's no fear of asking questions. And that's what, I think we learned a lot of stuff there, like small things, and small things make a difference. So, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming, lads. It was like, honestly, you've come, so thanks very much for that, and thanks very much for that.
That's all.
Okay, thanks,
lads.
Thanks, Donna.